What's up guys, DK here with Collector's Impact, and today this is going to be a pretty fun video as we are going to go over my current favorite top 5 cryptid monsters that are featured in the Cryptid Nation set from MetaZoo. In this video in particular, we're going to go through the 5 cards and talk about the actual lore associated with the monsters. Alright, so coming in at number 5 is the Metal Man of Alabama. And this guy here is less of a monster and more of an alien, as that's kind of the lore behind this one. So the story goes that in the year 1973, on October the 17th, there was a sheriff named Jeff Greenhall chilling at his little sheriff station there in Falkville, Alabama. And the phone rang and interrupted his TV show or whatever, and it was a lady on the other end of the phone screaming, claiming that she had seen a UFO land in the town somewhere, and she was totally freaked out. So the sheriff did what anyone would do in that scenario, and he got in his car and he drove out to investigate. When he arrived at the scene, he saw this Metal Man of Alabama chilling there, and he actually grabbed his camera and took some pictures of it. So this right here is the genuine picture, in quotes, the genuine picture that the sheriff took that night. And yeah, so of course he was the only one to witness it, and he's the only one since who witnessed it. And the pictures have certainly had their fair share of controversy and whatnot, and he ended up losing his job and everything over this incident, as people said that he was faking it. And, you know, obviously, I guess the jury's still out on that. It's because they haven't found the Metal Man of Alabama again. But either way, it's kind of interesting that there's photographic evidence associated with this encounter. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily believe these photos, you know what I mean? What do you guys think? Let me know what you think of these photos, because they're interesting, that's for sure, and the story's pretty cool, but yeah. But that's the Metal Man of Alabama. And coming in at number 4 here is Chessie, the Chesapeake Bay monster off the coast of Maryland. So this monster was first spotted in the 1800s, and there were a bunch of different encounters of this guy, ranging all the way from the 1800s, the early 1800s, to 1990. Most reports of this monster describe him as being extremely similar to the Loch Ness monster over there in Scotland. So it's got a big long neck and a long body, more serpentine than whatever this is, but there, of course, are variations in the reports and whatnot, but traditionally, Chessie is more of like a serpentine-type monster. I guess the real controversy comes in with this guy. Starting in the 1990s, they identified that some manatees had been swimming up from Florida and hanging around in the Chesapeake Bay. So when the scientists tagged the manatees and helped them return to their home in Florida, all of a sudden, the Chessie sightings have stopped. So... But, you know, in all fairness, Chessie is supposed to be like 20 to 40 feet long and like this huge monster and stuff. So not necessarily like a manatee. So that's kind of just that's whatever they throw out there. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I just thought that Chessie was pretty cool. The Chesapeake Bay is an amazing place. If you guys have ever had the opportunity to drive over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and tunnel system, I'm pretty sure that it's the largest in the entire United States, and I'm going to say that when I drove over at one time, there was a massive, massive storm taking place, and I don't think that I've ever been more scared like on the road and in inclement weather than that day, because it's like 20 miles of bridge, right, and tunnel and stuff, so it may be longer than that, and you're out in the middle of the bay, cars swaying around on this bridge, you know, as the wind is, oh man, watching boats capsize in the bay and everything. It was intense. So yeah, word of the wise, if you do go check out the Chesapeake Bay and drive over that bridge, do it when the weather is nice. All right, and coming in at number 3, I'm probably going to butcher the name, but I'll try anyway. Gaasyendietha. So, yeah. This particular cryptid monster is actually from our neighbor to the north up in Canada. This one originates in Ontario, Canada in the 1800s, up near Toronto in Lake Ontario. There were many sightings of a serpentine-like beast, some reported with wings, most reported without wings. This artwork does depict it with wings. but most of the reports involve a very long 20 to 40 foot serpentine creature with fiery eyes, and it could actually breathe fire, and it was referred to as a dragon specifically in the local lore up to that point. So sightings have been going on for the last 200 years up there, though there haven't been any super recent ones either, kind of like Chessie over there. I wonder what happens with that, but either way, it's pretty cool. So if you're up there, neighbors to the north, definitely go looking for Gaasyendietha one day. You might be one of the people that finally sees it again after quite a long time. And number 2 in my spot is Bigfoot, none other than the classic Sasquatch himself, freaking Bigfoot. If there's any cryptid monster that has a long resume, it's this guy right here. So the legends of Bigfoot mostly originate in the northwestern region of North America, of the United States and Canada specifically, up in the heavily woodland areas with mountains and all that fun stuff. So this Sasquatch has been reported from as far back as, well, as known history for the region, really, because there have been reports of this in Native American tribes since way before the settlers ever arrived to the new land from Europe or whatever. So yeah, a long, long time there have been rumors of Bigfoots. So Bigfoot is allegedly a 6 to 8 foot tall creature that lives in the woods, and his feet are like 2 feet long by 8 inches wide, and that's why he's known as Bigfoot. So yeah, but in terms of evidence of his existence, a lot of it is really shaky. And this is the most famous photo of Bigfoot right here. As you can see, it's very, very close to the artwork that they used on the actual card. That's definitely their inspiration. Though I don't really know why they gave the Bigfoot on the card this like koala bear looking face. It's kind of funny, but overall, I really love the flavor of this particular card. And I'm pretty stoked that I have the full foil version. But anyway, back to Bigfoot himself. So Bigfoot is like, there are so many theories about this guy at this point in time. Some people think that it's just like a giant ape that evolved a long time ago and has somehow remained hidden for all this time. So that's like the most common thing. And then, of course, when you get really far out there in terms of theories, you guys will love this one. There's my favorite one is that people think that he's an interdimensional traveling being who's been sent here to protect humanity. And that the Bigfoots or whatever, they can basically break through the veil of reality using their screams to break through to another dimension. So whenever they're sighted, they just let off a scream, and then they vibrate to a different frequency and pop out of existence. And that's why they've stayed hidden so long. Oh, and apparently if you actually like take out a Bigfoot or whatever, if you're hunting and you actually get one, they disappear just like just like somebody in Star Wars that just like gets absorbed into the Force. So yeah, how do you guys like that? That's genuine lore. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah, it's out there. And in the number 1 slot for me is the Chupacabra. Freaking El Chupacabra literally translates to the goat sucker. And this little guy here is special to me for a different reason than it is for probably most other people. I've made a video on the channel about the Chupacabra specifically before, the Chupacabra card. And the little story for me is that, you know, one of my really good friends, we've been close for a pretty long time and horror movie fans and whatnot, and he absolutely loves the Chupacabra, and unfortunately he's moving away soon, so I sent a few of these off for grading, and I'm going to give him one as a gift, as a little parting gift. But either way, his favorite monster of all monster movies and just monster lore in general is the Chupacabra. So whenever we're outside or anything, if we hear a noise in the distance, it's always the Chupacabra. Any noise, watch out, Chupacabra, you know. But aside from that, the actual lore of the Chupacabra is kind of interesting. So it started in the year 1995, so it's actually a very recent cryptid monster. It started in 1995 in Puerto Rico. So the story goes that there was this little town in Puerto Rico where the farm animals and other animals started getting drained of their blood in the middle of the night, like vampiric draining. So this sparked so much fear and controversy at the time in that area that like the mayor of the town even went like on a old school style monster hunt with several of the members of the town trying to find this thing. But within a 1-year span from 1995 to 1996, there were reported to be over 2,000 animals that had their blood drained by an unknown source. Yeah, so that's the origin of the Chupacabra. But there's been sightings of the Chupacabra going from, places in Mexico throughout the entire United States and up a little bit into the southern border of Canada as well. So apparently he gets around. But I will say that there's like 2 alleged versions. So the one from Puerto Rico is actually more like a traditional type of vampire monster. It's like 3 to 5 feet tall, stands on 2 legs and has wings and stuff, kind of like a bat person or whatever. So that's very different from this one. This is more the traditional U.S. style of Chupacabra, which is supposed to be like a hairless dog with fangs. And until this day, they really don't know what's doing the draining of the blood in the animals. There's also, of course, the theory that it's tied into the UFO phenomena, where farmers will find like cattle with their blood and organs taken and all that kind of nasty stuff. So it might have a tie-in with that lore as well, though it's hardly ever mentioned together for some reason. So either way, it's mysterious activity that's been happening for the last 20 plus years. And there's a lot of lore and fan baseness around the Chupacabra, especially in the southern United States. Well, that wraps up the video for today, guys. I hope that you liked this little presentation of my personal top 5 favorite cryptids that are featured in the set. There are clearly way more than 5 of them in the set, and there are going to be a lot more that come out in the near future. So, I'll give some honorable mentions to guys like the Mothman, the Jersey Devil, love the Salem Witches, Babe the Blue Ox. These kind of guys are really cool too. But for me, these are my personal top 5 favorites. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What are your favorite cryptids that are featured in the set? Did I hit all of them for you? Or is there like one that really screams out to you that you love more than any of the other cryptids? Either way, this is definitely part of this game, and part of the hobby is exploring the lore of the monsters and just enjoying the overall art and aesthetics, presentation, and honestly the history involved with these legends and lore. Oh, if you liked the video, definitely be sure to give it a thumbs up, as it really does help with the channel and everything. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, especially content regarding cards and grading and opening packs and talking about market theories and whatnot, especially for MetaZoo and other games as well, definitely subscribe to the channel. Would love to have you on the subscriber list. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 sub mark, so if you can find it in your heart to hit subscribe, please do. It is free. Anyway, thank you guys very much for coming by and checking out the video, and I hope to see you again next time. Take care.